Hello, my name's Helen and I'm a secondary metastatic breast cancer patient. I was first diagnosed with primary breast cancer in 2018 and then sadly I found out in September 23 that my cancer had metastasized to various parts of my body. Now, my cancer is what you call lobular cancer, which is rarer than the main form of cancer, which is ductal cancer. So ductal cancer tends to form itself in a lump, whereas lobular cancer is like a string of cancer cells, so it's much harder to detect. Anyway, when I was discharged from primary breast cancer, I obviously wanted to find out more about the signs and symptoms of secondary breast cancer. But when I looked on all the main websites, none of them distinguished lobular from ductal, and it turns out that lobular cancer behaves quite differently to ductal cancer. Anyway, I started to have a few problems with my eye. My left eye was closing, and I thought that was just sort of tiredness and age. And then my vision wasn't great. So I went to the optician in total 3 times, and they kept looking at my eye and couldn't quite work out what was wrong. So eventually I went to see my oncologist, and it turns out I did have a spread of cancer around my eye. Now, when I look back at the signs and symptoms of breast cancer, secondary breast cancer that I'd researched, no one separated out lobular from ductal cancer, and lobular cancer does behave differently. When I eventually made contact with MetUp UK, I discovered that they have 2 infographics, one that separates out lobular signs and symptoms and one that separates out ductal signs and symptoms. And sure enough, on the lobular page, it does mention that the cancer can spread to the eye, albeit quite rare. Had I seen that earlier, I would have gone to my oncologist 6 months earlier than I actually did, which is obviously a little bit sad because the earlier the cancer is diagnosed, the more chance you have of a longer survival rate. So I would urge you, if you have had primary breast cancer and are interested in the signs and symptoms of secondary breast cancer, then do head over to the MetUp UK website. Thank you.